Hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning back into yet another video. In today's video, I'm going to be making this epic dragon one-on-one battle, but the main idea is to be making it using paid assets rather than using royalty-free images like we generally do here. So the whole idea of this video is to come to a conclusion if paying for your assets could make or break your digital artwork quality. I'm also going to be guiding you through the entire process of making this artwork, and all I ask of you is to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So with that out of the way, let me quickly pull up both the websites that we are going to be using in today's video. One is free, one is completely paid. So the first one we have is a paid website, which is Adobe stock image website. The other one we're going to be using is Unsplash, which is generally known for its highest quality royalty-free images. We're going to be doing simple searches that we're going to be using in today's artwork. So the first keyword that I'm going to be using is a dragon to see what results actually come up in a paid website. You could see that the images that you get are like really high quality. Like take this for instance. This is not cheap CGI. This is like a really high quality image. This is a high quality render right here. And you could see that you get a lot of other variations in the same series, and you could also see more. And you get a lot of other variations as well. You could see much better dragons, and you could use any of these as you like. This one's really good. This one's really good. You also get overlays like this one. You get vector images. You get a lot to choose from. Let's do the same with Unsplash. And you could see that everything that you get in Unsplash when you type in dragon is all sculptures and photographs of other dragon sculptures from different parts of the world. And you get a lot of other unrelated images like this one model standing here and this one painting or like another sculpture. And none of this is something you could actually use in a digital manipulation artwork. I don't see even one. And you would know if you were a digital artist, finding assets like dragons or like creatures which are mythological are not something you could generally find easily, and something like Adobe stock website would easily give you that option. Now let's type in lava, because lava is another asset that we're going to be using in today's artwork. And you could see that we get textures, we get more volcanic images, and you could see that the color palette varies from yellow all the way to red and black, and you get a lot to choose from again as well. And these are all like really high quality images. I'm guessing they're all 8K resolution or something. Let's do the same in Unsplash. And the images that you get are quite decent. They're not as high quality that you get in Adobe stock website, but I think they're doable. So if you're like really talented and you are like a really good expert and you've been doing digital art for years, you could probably use this the same way that you're going to be using it on Adobe stock website. As you can see, the paid websites are already on a head start with giving better image results, and this could potentially really make your artwork look much better. I want to be taking you through the rest of the process through the artwork, and you guys could decide if you could actually be using these in real life practice when you're making digital manipulation. Let's really get into it. Okay, so right off the back, we have this image of a cliff with a white background. So when I wanted a particular cliff with like, a high-rise input, you can generally not get something like this from Unsplash. It takes a lot of time. You need to find this particular cliff and then mask out this particular area of a cliff instead of getting what you actually want. And then you put in what you actually have in mind on a place like Adobe stock website. It gave me exactly what I wanted, but with the white background, so it's easier for me to mask it out. And I also want to tell you guys that except for like 2 images that I've used in this particular artwork, everything else is from Adobe stock website, which are all paid assets. And I really love the way you get the options to position the dragon in whatever pose you want it in. So in case you want it to be facing on sideways or front ways, you want the dragon to be looking at a particular space. Everything's like really customizable in a place like Envato or like Adobe stock website. And the subject, I'm very, very sure that you will not be able to get a subject in this particular pose unless you want to manually do it in DAZ or like another 3D program where you want to like rig the character to a particular stance and then use other materials from other assets to make each and every single piece, like the hand, the leg, if you're supposed making an armor, to actually piece this particular stance together, or there's no other way that you could actually get this particular pose. I'm very sure that this particular subject is from Facestock from DeviantArt, because I saw this particular one in her page and she was also selling it as a premium asset. So it is technically not free either way. I started color correcting the artwork from the background to the foreground. That is how I generally like to do it. And I started using a lot of overlays and textures of lavas that I found on Adobe stock website, and then using different blend modes, I started experimenting on what would look great. Throughout this entire process of this artwork, you would see that I have completely used a lot of overlays and brushes and mist, fog between the dragon and the subject, and that's mainly because I wanted the subject scale to be really visible. If I do not do all this, then the subject would just vanish throughout the entire artwork. And we need to be separating the subject from the dragon because I want everybody's attention to be going to the subject. And this particular overlay that I've used for the fog and the mist is also a paid asset from Adobe stock website. The lava used between the dragon and the subject is actually an image from Unsplash, which is an exception. I would just like to point out that I am somebody who's generally criticized of using a lot of reds and yellow tones in all my subject, but in my defense, that's what I generally like. And when you go to camera raw filter, that is the first option that you see to increase your temperature and the coloring to the yellow side. So I generally prefer making a lot of my artwork in yellows and reds. Since the dragon occupied most of the space in the entire canvas, I wanted to make sure that the dragon looks extremely good compared to the rest of the entire artwork. I completely failed in this perspective because I really could not for some reason make the dragon look good. The quality was really good, the lighting was really good, but somehow all my techniques failed completely when I was recording, and I felt like a beginner all over again when I was trying to manipulate everything about the dragon. And to piece the foreground bokeh effect of the lava that we had initially used, I bought in another cave image from Unsplash and then cut out the centerpiece of it viewing from the ocean and then put it on the edge of the image to make sure that the person viewing the artwork is viewing it from like a hidden space. And I obviously had to blur it and make it very similar to the bokeh effect that we had added in initially with the first lava image. The background looked really plain and very uninspired, so I had to bring in another image of another mountain which resembled a volcano and manipulated it in the background using blending modes. I think I used multiply. I usually feel like when there's a lot going on, it adds more to the storyline, and I'm not really a very minimalistic person. I'm generally an antithesis of minimalism. People are going to notice how the highlights are being played on the subject, but it's very important to be painting on a pixel to pixel basis and given as much details as possible. I wanted to add some more mist between the dragon and the subject and some more mist even between the bokeh effect in the front and to the subject, between the subject and the bokeh effect. Brought in this one magic overlay that I found on DeviantArt because there's no way that this one particular warrior is going to be fighting off an entire dragon, so we had to add in another element to make it look like the battle was very equal, and this overlay came in handy. I did some color correction over it and it really fit in the picture. I then went on to add some more adjustment layers on top of the dragon to see if something could be done to make the dragon look any better. I'm not sure if it helped, but it did look better than before. For the final touches, I got in this one fire overlay that I found on Adobe stock image again. It was a bunch of fire images grouped into one pack. I cut out some of them and then placed them over the dragon to make sure that the dragon was flaming and it looked a bit more dramatic. To show you guys my color correction process and the final touches that I do on camera raw filter. This is where all the magic generally happens, and if you don't fuse something in the artwork, it generally gets fused in the camera raw filter, and this is like a very useful tool. People generally have their own preferences when it comes to camera raw filter. I do my own thing. It changes according to every artwork, and you can see what I've done here. And I added a little bit of green tint when it comes to the color grading. that was pretty much it. That is the end of the artwork, and let me know what you guys actually think of using paid images and paid assets for your digital artwork. I really think it was worth it because it made the whole process seem a lot more easier and less challenging, in fact. So the basic conclusion that I would come to is that if you have like about 3 years of experience, maybe you could handle all these free images and collect them, put them together, because by then you will have enough understanding of piecing them together even if they're non-existential. But if you're really just starting out and if you're not that experienced, but if you want really great output quality, I think paying for these assets are really worth it. So yeah, that's the conclusion of the video, I guess. I really hope you guys like the artwork and the whole rant. I really did not prepare for this speech. It was a complete rant. If you really like the video, make sure that you hit the like button and leave a comment on what you think is this war between using paid assets and using free assets. Also check out all the links in the description to my prints, my social media. Everything will be linked in the description below. I'm also available for commission, so if you're a music artist, you could always hit me up and we could work together. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys soon with another quality video.